Welcome back to the Mastering Video Marketing Podcast.
The what?
That's right. We recently rebranded the podcast. NextWaveDV being our channel name.
Yep.
But just calling it the NextWaveDV Podcast seemed a bit vague. And also, frankly, from an SEO standpoint, we wanted to actually have the title of the show be what we're going to be talking about.
That's exactly right.
So we've rebranded it to the Mastering Video Marketing.
That's awesome. Yeah. Especially, we preach a lot, and we've been, trying to coach our clients a lot into, as they're getting these their short form videos on, making it searchable, adding that a level of searchability. And that's what we've been trying to do in all of our content. So we're just extending this now into the podcast to make sure that people can find us easier.
Exactly. I mean, frankly, our goal long term is to be synonymous with those keywords.
That's
Video
exactly
marketing
right.
is kind of the main focus we've had. Our channel's been around for a long time. I started the channel back in 2006, and we've, over the years, changed it and evolved to talking about, both filmmaking training, our growing and starting a video production company, working with clients, and now our shift being like, we've talked about it previously, just making great video is just not enough to warrant a business, a video production company anymore. In our opinion, like, we want to be helping our clients get a solid ROI to utilize video for their marketing, to properly utilize it, to properly see the benefits from it. And that requires not just making pretty images, but also having a good strategy. So that's the growth that we've gone through, and that's the trajectory we're going to take the podcast.
That's exactly right.
And speaking of that growth, one thing that has been growing tremendously for both for us and for just video as a whole is short form content. So today we're going to talk about short form videos, so like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook and Instagram Reels, that type of content, and why it's so important that businesses are really taking notice and taking advantage of it.
Yeah. We've been really diving into this for the past, what are we at, about 2 months now? 45 days are we at?
Solidly, but I feel like it's been a little bit longer of a journey for myself, that finally getting to the point where I went from, hey, short form content isn't just annoying people dancing on TikTok, to, all right, there's a lot of good content here, to this is really also a platform I need to be utilizing, both from a standpoint of being a content creator, to continue to utilize that platform to share the NextWaveDV content that we do, but also as a model to then say, hey, this is a service that we should be offering our clients.
Right.
In fact, like, today's episode is going to be somewhat short because we've been shooting all day or all week. This has been a very busy week for us. And yesterday we were doing an entire month's worth of short form content for one of our clients.
Yeah, if you haven't seen any of the short form, I highly recommend check it out. It was a really cool process. How do we kind of go about getting that, where we were able to cram it into 30 days worth of content into a matter of hours?
Absolutely. Yeah, we use our virtual production. If you've watched our channel, you'll see that we've been doing a lot of virtual production with Unreal Engine, using our we call it our AR wall. It's a ultra short throw projector on a ambient light rejecting screen, and we use that for some of those scenarios. But what it also allows us to do is be able to quickly change backdrops. So we used a bunch of different offices and coffee shops and just locations that you would typically want to have as a backdrop for a nice modern looking show. Yeah. But for us to even set up in a location like that and completely reserve it, it takes a lot of time and energy. And for us to then go to a different location would take even more. So, and the truth is, I mean, honestly, if you're not looking for it, it does not look like we shot on a screen.
And honestly, even if you are looking for it, there were some of the backdrops that were, especially the ones that were AI generated, that were so clean. They looked incredible. And, this is a client that we've worked with in the past, and actually we used some of the previous footage as an inspiration. But if we had tried to get back to that location and try and get everything staged similarly, it would have been, cost alone, it would have been cost prohibitive. This client had a budget that we were trying to stick with, and it would have gone well above had we tried to go on location. Heaven forbid we try and do it multiple times. Now we can just bring it right back up on the screen. We can pick up right where he left off and relight it exactly how we had it, or similar to how we had it. And we are back into creating content. And that's better for the client, that they love it, that they don't have to spend days or weeks or multiple days in a week dedicated to creating this content, because they're business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they're trying to further their own business. So having that that effectiveness and efficiency, that's the word I'm looking for, really pays dividends for both them and for us.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is I think probably the biggest thing is audio in my opinion. Now, because like shooting and some of the best locations often have the worst audio.
Right.
You know, like a big, nice modern office can be super echoey, or, you know, maybe some have sound treatment, don't get me wrong, but like, you know, a coffee shop or something like that, that's assuming that you have the entire place shut down to yourself.
Right.
You know, let alone if it's busy or they're trying to cook food or whatever, serve clients. So yeah, having this studio setup has been great for us. I've never been a big fan of shooting in a studio. It's one of the reasons that we never pushed it very heavily.
Yeah.
I preferred to shoot on location because you can have the depth, you can have really nice backdrops, you can work with the location, and having the AR wall and using virtual production has been a way of kind of marrying the two together. It gives us that look without having to compromise on having to then always, like, because again, for us to shoot on location, there has to be a minimum of crew and equipment and time, and for us, we were able to literally shoot an entire month's worth of content in half a day. It wasn't even like a full day shoot. We had him come in and we cranked it out, and he was on his way. So
yeah. So how would you recommend? I mean, because we recommend, and this is advice that we've received and implemented and seen growth, and also that we recommend for our clients and have seen growth in theirs, to put out daily content. How does someone, just an average person, how would you recommend they do that?
Let's talk about like short form as its own platform.
Sure.
Because I think a lot of people, especially people that might be new to it, I kind of lump the two things together. It's like there's YouTube, you go on YouTube and there's video.
Yeah.
We never categorized the videos differently until now. Shorts and standard, long form, whatever duration it would be, regular YouTube content is different than shorts. Now TikTok is pretty much all the same for the most part. I mean, it's you might have different durations because now you can even go up to 10 minutes on TikTok, but regardless, it's still funneling through the same algorithm. But like Facebook and Instagram, now recently they're starting to kind of lump it together, but in the past it has been, if you uploaded a regular video to Facebook, it would be a Facebook video. But if you upload it, you had the option to select Reels, and then it went into a different system almost completely. It would show up in a different feed, and that type of content would be shared at a different level. So in the past, again, if you shared let's even say a photo or a video, and you put it in either your personal page or your business page, it would get shown to, let's say you had 1,000 fans on your page. In the past, years ago, you might share that video and it might be seen by maybe 30% of your followers, if you're maybe even more than that. And then Zuckerberg came along and decided we can make more money. And so they made it so that your organic reach plummeted to like anywhere from like 3 to 5%.
Right.
It was super low, maybe 10 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So again, if you had 1,000 followers, you'd be lucky if you got maybe 20 to 50 people that would see it. And that's just the way it was. So if you wanted more people that followed your page, you'd have to boost the post or do regular ads that they would be able to then see it better. So that was it. And so we kind of gave up on organic reach being a thing for the longest time. Now with short form content, it's kind of cycled back around. Not the same way that it was before, but you can actually get much better reach levels from shorts. Sure. I don't know if it's going to be like this forever.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something businesses want to take advantage of sooner than later. Because I think part of it is because the platforms are trying to compete with TikTok. TikTok used to be a joke, right? And then it became more legitimate, and now all the platforms are like, okay, because what it boils down to is the algorithm. Yeah, the algorithm for TikTok, and now again these different platforms. We'll just start with TikTok. The algorithm for TikTok is interest based. Mm-hmm. So in the past, if you let's go way back to MySpace. Right. So MySpace being one of the early social media platforms, the idea of it was like a website. You put stuff on your page and you would get people to come to your page. Right. That was the goal. Then Facebook came along and Twitter and basically had a feed. And the idea was that you would share stuff and it would go into this general feed that other people would see. And that revolutionized stuff for a long time. Yeah. But if you didn't follow somebody, you wouldn't see things in their feed. No. Then they kind of started adding a little bit of like, here's something you might be interested in. Here's something you might be. So that stuff started showing up in feeds.
As more brands and companies got onto it,
Right.
sharing other content, not just friends.
And that interest-based algorithm is exactly what TikTok based its entire platform around.
Yeah.
So because of that, you can upload a video. You get a brand new TikTok account. You could upload a video, and it has just as much likelihood of going viral as somebody with 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, in fact, like having 100,000, those vanity metrics don't even really matter much anymore.
That's true.
Now, they do help. If you have a really engaged audience and they really like watching your stuff, of course, you're going to have a higher viewer count from that baseline. But
Sure.
most people notice that, especially on TikTok, the percentage of people that watch their videos is usually like maybe 2 to 5% of their followers, and 90+% is just the interest feed.
Sure.
And so that's why, like, if your content is good, if it's engaging, if it's valuable, if it's stuff that people would be interested in, and people start watching it and they watch it all the way through, and then the algorithm goes, hey, they liked it, let me show it to somebody else. And that person also watched it, and more people watch it, then the algorithm is going to keep sharing it. So the thing you have to realize is the thing all these platforms have is attention. That's what they are selling. We say like attention is the oil of today.
Yeah.
It's the main resource that everybody is going after. And so all these social media platforms, that's what they want. They want to keep people on their platform as long as possible so they can sell the time duration, the number of people. That's what they have to sell to their advertisers. So how do they get people to stay on their platform? It's through showing their audience stuff that they're interested in and stuff that's good so that they want to keep watching it. In fact, like on TikTok, if you hit the back button, they'll show you another video. And you can go if you want, but hey, here's another video. Maybe you'll be interested in that.
Yeah.
And because of TikTok's success, other platforms like YouTube and Facebook have also done the exact same thing.
Right.
They have now switched over. And so that's why YouTube Shorts has become its own section of YouTube.
Yeah.
And so what's exciting about that is that content, because the platforms are so desperate to keep people on the platform, they are funneling it out there as much as possible. So organic reach has shot way through the roof.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting because you can definitely get much better reach and much better, just frankly, ROI, investment in time and money on short content than any other type of content right now for social media.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's a great. I think a lot of businesses are focusing on, it's like, oh, we need to do advertising, we need to do branding, we need to do this. And where do we need to create a commercial? Do we need to have something on our About Us page? What do we need? Short form. Short form is where you need to be, because that's where people are, that's where people are selling attention, and that's where people are going to give their attention. So I think short form is where you need to be at.
Absolutely. And there's been a big push also from TikTok and YouTube into monetization. Like starting in this February, YouTube and I believe TikTok, I forget when they kicked it in, but YouTube is definitely in February that monetization has been enabled now. So I don't know what that looks like exactly. You know, we're all just starting it out, so we'll see what that translates to for actual income. But I can see a huge wave of content creators, even more so than we have right now, because there's actual potential income that you can make off of it.
Sure.
But what we're recommending for businesses isn't just the monetization side of things. What we are recommending is using it as a platform to be a subject matter expert for lead cultivation, for generating a reputation. If you look at some of the big guys out there like Alex Hormozi and Gary Vee, and they are using these platforms they're the best sounding board for them right now. They're growing their following like never before. Gary Vee's been around for a while, but Alex Hormozi hasn't been as active as many of the content creators, but he has seen huge success by focusing a lot of his energy and his attention into short form content, and he's grown to close to 1 million followers in a really short period of time.
And let's clarify, he's not out. It's not Alex Hormozi selling his products or selling his services. It's him giving away tips. It's him giving away advice. It's him from his public speaking, from his coaching, things that he's learned. And oh, by the way, now people know him and people want to work with him, so they're naturally going to go find his brands. And so I think that's where a lot of companies are like, oh no, let's get on here. Let's sell this. Let's throw our pitch on there. No, get out there and give value, make people want to watch what you have, and they're naturally going to flock to you.
Yeah. Short form content has to be, we've talked about before, it has to be educational and entertaining to be valuable.
Yeah.
But it has to be valuable. It has to be not a platform for you to sell.
Yep.
It has to be a place for you to give valuable content that people can enjoy and be entertained by.
Yeah.
And that, for some businesses, it's hard for them to think that way,
Right.
you know, because they look at social media as a platform like, hey, it's free ad space. I can tell people about our products and services, and that's not why people are going onto these platforms.
Right.
And if you do that, your videos will not stay in the algorithm. They will fizzle and they will get very, very few views.
Yeah.
Because that's not stuff that people want to watch.
Yeah. And to your point before, the algorithm's whole goal is to keep people watching that content. And if your content is repeatedly kicking people away, they're going to kick you away. They're not going to want anything to do with your content. They're going to downvote it. And we found out that TikTok actually has a heat button and a cool down button, which it hurt my feelings a little bit. But I mean, it is a great way to, you can control that market, and it is their company to control. So it is extra incentive for businesses and brands and even individuals that are trying to create content and grow their brand awareness. That's a huge incentive to make sure that you're putting out stuff that sticks.
All right, Ben, I know you got to go.
I do. Yep.
It's been a crazy busy week for us, but I'll talk a little bit more about this. So we'll finish out the podcast, and then we'll see you next time.
Sounds good. We'll see ya.
Before we wrap up this episode, I just wanted to kind of give some best practices for short form content creation. We are going to be talking more about this on our channel as we continue forward. In fact, for our client that we were shooting yesterday, I was starting to list off a few best practices that he can do for his upload, and he was like, hey, can you just make a whole video about this? I'm like, that's a great idea. So we will be uploading that in the near future. But, again, I can't overemphasize the need to make sure that you are creating valuable content for your audience. And that takes time to learn, because you're going to make something. I mean, fundamentally, you need to get out there and start making content. It's simple as that. Do not feel like I've got to get all my stuff figured out before I can start doing this. It takes practice to get good at making content, and then it takes practice and refinement to learn what messages your audience are responding to best. I've been doing short form consistently daily for close to 3 months now, and I'm still learning things. I get to see what our audience responds to best, what people are most interested in. And as I move forward, I then learn from those things, and I start adapting, and I start creating more content wrapped around that. So it's not something that you're going to learn immediately. But the things that, like, as you're getting started, what you want to do is you want to focus on, again, giving as much value as you can. Again, for our client that we were shooting with yesterday, we explained, I said, let's not focus on, I know that he's got products and services that he can be offering. He's got a lot of businesses, and he's using this as a platform to get his name out there. But especially for the first months of content, let's just purely focus on giving value to your audience. Show them that you have something valuable to teach them. Show them that there's you just have something to say that's worth listening to. And so we sculpted all of his message around giving really good, valuable insights to his potential audience. But at the same time, don't feel like you have to be super broad. I mean, there are some people that have found lots of success by being very, very all-encompassing. Like their advice or their training that they give is something that's practical for everybody on the planet. And that's fine, but everybody on the planet is not going to be a potential customer for you. And if you're looking at this as being a platform for lead cultivation, then you do want to be targeting businesses or clients or customers that would be interested in your product or service. So again, here we're talking about video marketing. So the people that might be interested in video marketing could be businesses, they could be business owners, professionals, other marketers. They might be other people that are in the marketing profession themselves. They might be, people that are just getting started in the wide world of business ownership, and they're not sure where to begin. But I'm probably not going to be appealing to, gamer or a younger generation of somebody that just has no interest in marketing or strategy or any of that kind of stuff. And that's totally fine for me. So speaking of the gamer generation, I've got Sean here.
Hey, it's
Sean
been a long
Bowers.
time, and I'm a little unkept here. I've been busy. I haven't shaved or done that stuff for a little while.
Glad you could join us. So Sean hasn't been on NextWaveDV for a while because he has really taken over the main management of the arcade for the VR arcade and for the Gamers
I've been
Lounge.
doing a big push on getting our esports grown for Wisconsin, mainly Green Bay area. But we've gotten a lot of great headway with that and with our events. And actually tonight, we're starting our second season with, we're officially partnered with Titletown. So it's Titletown Esports featuring Rocket League, powered by Edge VR Arcade and Gamers Lounge.
That's right.
It's a mouthful. But yeah, so so we're really pushing on that. And hopefully by 2024, 2024 we're shooting for, we might even be doing a large 3-day esports expo here in Green Bay at the Resch. So that's kind of what we're shooting for. But just wanted to pop on because you're talking about short form content. We've kind of it's part of our ecosystem here with Creative Edge and all the businesses that fall under that umbrella. We've been putting that into practice with all our businesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have our VR arcade and we have our Gamers Lounge, and they both have different target demographics that we need to be going after.
Like just a little, like the VR arcade is primarily going to be parents, really birthday parties,
family entertainment.
Yep, exactly, family entertainment. And then when it comes to the Gamers Lounge, that's going to be towards gamers. You're talking about from 35 below.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that we started with short form that Tony came up with the idea. We did a kind of a hybrid. I thought of the thing to do was.
Well, there's trends you can look at in short form content. One that I noticed was fairly common was the green screen effect, where people will shoot with their cell phone, and you don't actually have to shoot with an actual green screen. It's like CapCut and certain apps will kind of just chop up the background. But rather than, it still takes a little bit extra work to put something behind you, and we have our AR wall. So I said, hey, what if we put the trailer of a game behind it? And I said, Sean, why don't you can go in front of it and just
because I wanted to do these trailers because one of the things is on our website we have the game description and the trailer, and a lot of times the trailer doesn't really describe to our customers what the game experience is like. So I wanted to really break it down to them, cut the middleman out. Well, we're the middleman. Cut ourselves out, just so they have.
Well, make it so that they don't have to look at the trailer and go, "I think this looks fun."
Yeah, I'm basically doing when they come here and they rent time. I'm doing the spiel that'd be like, "Hey, are you interested in this? What games?" They ask what games to play. So I'm giving them a breakdown, but I'm doing that on our social media,
exactly.
And including humor. I'm winging it a lot of times. I got some bullet points, and
it's not crazy polished, and that's fine. It has a great energy to it, and we've really leaned into it. And our editor,
adding a little bit of memes in there and stuff like that.
Quinn has done a great job of taking those moments and really punching them up so that, real quickly, I'll say, and that probably we could do a whole episode talking about the importance of creating good or having a good editor that can take that content. Really,
I didn't want to do it myself. I was like, I don't want to cringe at myself. I want someone to go through the cringe and be like, oh yeah, that's stupid, or hey, that's good. Have a different perspective on it, because I could edit them, but it's just also time management too. But I just want to say, because you mentioned before about short organic. So it's been some of our best organic performing content out there, because you don't have to really be. It's not an ad. It's not. It's entertaining. It's entertainment, and even though it's accomplishing a purpose, it's got a wide audience, and it's enjoyable. It's just fun to watch, and it gives you a giggle.
This is usually the part where we switch to our pop culture corner. And this is where we talk about any shows or movies or games or things that we've been playing. So figured real quickly I do have to get going myself.
My eternal game, Rocket League, that I play. Of course, I said, we're doing the Titletown Rocket League live stream starting tonight, so that's awesome. But
we talked about Willow last time. I know you're a huge Willow fan. I
was a big fan since the 80s. I grew up with that movie, and I loved Willow. And so when they released the show, I was really happy about that. And I was pretty much happy with the show overall. I didn't dive into dissecting.
I got into it at the last half of the last episode. I'm like, all right, I'm finally in, because the whole show I was like, all right, I'm trying to the tone of it was all over the place. It very much had a modern '80s fantasy feel to it.
Oh yeah.
But when they got to the very end, I was like, I almost had like a Stranger Things level like twist at the very end that
yeah.
I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it. It'd be interesting to see where it goes. I'm liking it so far. I'm not going to get into any analysis of it or anything like that, but I like it. I enjoy it. That's usually how I approach it. I have low expectations. So as long as I enjoy it, I'm happy with it. I mean, I'm not really too, like some fans can get upset if it doesn't follow the lore exactly. I'm open to artistic impression as long as it's got a good direction.
Yep.
One other one that, of course, I want to mention that's relevant is Last of Us. I don't know if you've watched
haven't
any
had a
Last
chance
of Us
to
yet.
watch it yet, but I
Okay,
heard a
so
lot of
yeah,
good stuff.
I'm up to date on that. Last of Us, when it came on the PS3, was one of my favorite games. I just loved it. The storytelling was amazing. One of the first games that made me cry. And if you don't know why, then either watch the film or you can play the game. I haven't played Last of Us 2, even though it was like one of my favorite franchises. I just never got the time to do it, but I have to do that. So Last of Us is, of course, I saw a great meme. It's like, Last of Us is renewed for season 2, and then it had Pedro with a sad face. People who know what season 2 brings. So it was just really, really great. But I've been enjoying it so far, and it's a great way to introduce people into what's great storytelling games can have. Like especially most recent ones, like with God of War Ragnarok, Last of Us. I mean, I've been obviously into gaming for such a long time. Fallout was one of my favorite series. Skyrim, so the Bethesda, world. But so it's done very well. It's very faithful to the feel and the storytelling. That's one thing I think a lot of game adaptations get wrong is they don't really respect the story and the uniqueness of that. It's kind of almost like a game isn't quite a book, but it's in between a book and a movie because you can really pour a lot of hours into it, do a lot of storytelling, make decisions and things like that. But and we all know that a lot of book to movie adaptations are disappointing. It's just the nature of the media. That's just how it is, the medium. But yeah, so it's a really great, faithful reproduction of the great storytelling that happens in the game. And it's like, that came out in 2003. So it's like now the zombie apocalypse kind of trope is, it's well worn. So people, another zombie thing, but it's been around kind of like around the beginning of Walking Dead, kind of when that started to become popular. And I really love the spin of using the, the cordyceps fungi instead of, some kind of virus. It's got a really cool kind of scientific spin to it that I really enjoy. So
Cool.
Really, really happy with that.
I'll have to check it out. I know you're a fellow Star Trek fan, and season 3 of Picard is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
The reviews starting to come in. It's really positive.
I haven't paid a lot of attention to the details of the reviews stuff like that, but I am looking forward to the series.
I am super stoked.
Because Next Generation I grew up on. It wasn't really big of the original series, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten to appreciate it a little bit more. But TNG has been my all-time favorite. Of course, after that too, I really loved Deep Space Nine. Once I got into that,
amazing. Voyager's solid. Like a lot of the modern Trek has been hit or miss. Season 1 and 2 of Picard has a lot of issues. I can watch it and kind of turn my brain off when I need to just to enjoy some of it. But I'm really excited that season 3 seems to be that Star Trek 6 closer that we never got with Next Gen. I mean, we got it with All Good Things, and then they came back, and then they kept telling the story. So it's cool to see that it's might be a really good thing. And I'm just excited to see, the direction of Trek has been kind of wishy-washy. I like some of the variety. Strange New Worlds has been cool. Like it's neat to have the variety for sure. But
I watched some of Strange New Worlds. I did enjoy that. I didn't finish it though. Is it Discovery? What is the one? Is it called Discovery? Star Trek Discovery? Yeah. I mean, I was following that for a while, and then kind of like after the big climax, and then I don't remember the seasons and stuff like that. I kind of fell off a little bit there. It just wasn't it didn't feel the same. And then, but yeah, I mean, I love the franchise and I have my favorites in there, but I'm always happy when new Star Trek content comes out when it continues. It's just, I love the lore and the way that it approaches our exploration of space and the look at humanity. Yeah. So,
well, we got to wrap up here, but hopefully we'll have you back again, Sean.
Yeah, maybe sometime I'll hop on again as we get more updates, something relevant content as we explore and really push and a lot of the social media concepts that we've been developing. So it's really exciting stuff, and we're seeing great results.
Great. Well, we'll see you next time.